Hello my lovelies and welcome back to my channel. It's been a hot minute since my last video. It's summer break. My kiddos are at home. It's been crazy busy, so I have not had a chance to sew as much as I would have loved to. But my kids are at camp this week, so what a better opportunity than to tape the strike off that I'm sewing right now. So for today I'm sewing the mice, the pink mice. We call it pink mice, but it does have a different official name. It's called Cinderelly. So I'm sewing the Cinderelly print from Backstitch. This is going to be in the pre-order that's opening this Friday. I am sewing the textured vinyl this time around. The vinyl does come in smooth and textured, both extremely pretty, both amazing. They just have different feels. So for my bag I will be sewing this vinyl, and I'm going to also add accents with this stunning webbing. Like, isn't this the most beautiful webbing you've ever seen? I am impressed to no end with this webbing. It's absolutely gorgeous, and it goes with most of the prints from the collection that's opening Friday. Oh, but I haven't said what I'm sewing. I'll be sewing the Emmeline bags. I'll do the mountain saddle, the tall option. I've done it before with a Hissy Fit strike and I loved it, so I'm doing it again, and this time I'm taping the video. It's pretty spacious crossbody bag that's not too big. It's perfect for the parks. I love the shape. It's an easy project. It's, I would say, beginner friendly for sure. And I'm making one little change to the pattern because I don't have the press lock that's required. I'm going to use snaps, like magnetic snaps, but other than that it's going to be the same as the pattern. As always, my disclaimer, I'm not a professional bag maker. I don't sew to sell. You may see errors, you may see top stitching that's not 100% straight. I'm here to tell you that you can sew your own bag. You can do it as long as you don't expect perfection from the get-go. If I want perfection, I have a lot of bag maker friends that are super uber talented that I can purchase a bag from them that's gonna be perfect. Mine will probably not be, but it's going to be made by me, and I'm having fun in the meantime. My videos are never meant to replace the bag makers videos. I'm not sure if this one does come with one. Probably, I'm not sure. So definitely for the pro version of making this bag, follow the bag makers videos. Mine is just a let's hang, let's sew, let's chat kind of a deal. If this is something that you're interested in seeing, or you just want to hang around and hear me ramble, then keep on watching. Okay, so to start, I've already cut my pattern pieces. I'm doing the tall option. I've interfaced my vinyl with the cotton wool geeky fuse, or was it? No, this was the poly geeky fuse that I've used, and then Decovil light. So all pieces, this is a Franken Decovil light. I ran out and I can't find it anymore, so this is probably my last video with Decovil light for a while. But luckily the poly firm and soon to be available cotton firm from Wizardry Stitchery and Crafts will be helping get the same feel. So these are, you basically have one front, one back, one flap, a gusset lining the same way, an inside pocket that you can slip because that's what you'll be using to turn, and your accent pieces and your strap. Super easy, not too many pieces, as you can see. I do encourage you to mark which piece is what, because the flap and the front and back can be easily confused. So I'm looking right now to separate the flap. Okay, front and back, which means this is the flap. So we're going to start by creating the inside pocket. Everything that I'm using today is from Wizardry Stitchery and Crafts. all the hardware, the zippers, the interfacing, it's all from there. Grab one of your lining pieces, whichever you want, they're two the same, and your zipper facing. So because I'm making the tall option, I'm going to draw a line that is, let me see, 1 inch down. From the top, and I'm going to draw that on the wrong side of my waterproof canvas. My waterproof canvas is not interfaced. You don't need to interface waterproof canvas. And then I'm going to draw another line that's 1/2 inch down, and they're both 1 inch away from the edge. So I'm going to draw another vertical line that's 1 inch away from the edge. So you've created your rectangle for the facing. So this rectangle, you're going to place it centered and 1 inch down for the tall version. I think the smaller version, the short one, is a little higher up. So let's find the center first. Easy. We've done this kind of a pocket many times before. If you're new to my channel, I'm doing it now. I actually was thinking of skipping this video, but I figured there might be some new sewists around who want to see how to make this pocket, so I'll keep it. Hopefully the video won't be too long. Okay, so I'm placing this right sides together, 1 inch down from the top edge, and I'm going to sew around the rectangle. I'm using fairy floss in my needle, and I think I have black thread in my bobbin. I don't know, it's whatever is left from the last project. I figured fairy floss will look very good with the Cinderelly print. I'm trying to get used to this new needle, and it's new presser feet, and I'm not loving them at all. Honestly, I'm being lazy. I should be changing back and forth between my top stitching feet and my regular sewing feet, but I'm not. So now I'm having a harder time following straight lines. I kept looking for compensation feet for my industrial, just to help me get straighter lines for top stitching, and I found this on Amazon, and they're really nice. This one that I have on is 1/4 inch. You should be switching them and putting them on just when you're top stitching, but I'm lazy, so I'm sewing the project with a foot that's 1/4 inch. But when you top stitch, it looks so good. It's definitely worth it. So this is where my line went a little less than straight. Alright, grab your seam ripper so you can put a slit in between. And you want to do the opening about a half an inch away from each side. Let me see if I can do it. Okay, I'm going to put that slit in the center I'll stop about half an inch away, and then I'll do those Y's at the end as close to the stitching as possible without snipping off the thread. There you go. And turn your facing on the other side. Now, if you're using cotton woven, you can definitely give this a very good press right now. Since I'm using waterproof canvas, I'm going to just put a couple of pins to hold it in place, hold my facing in place. So now the facing and the lining are wrong sides together. It is definitely easier if you can press it. Okay, so this is from the right side and this is from the wrong side with the facing. Now grab your pocket pieces, which should be 2 rectangles. So let's add the zipper to the zipper pocket. Take your zipper right side up, place it on the zipper pocket that's also right side up. So right side up, and you're going to stitch this down along the edge. It's okay if the zipper is longer than the pocket. We're going to trim it. Better to be longer than shorter. So this is what it looks like. Okay, let's top stitch this, and we're going to top stitch with the right side of the pocket up and the wrong side of the zipper down. When you top stitch it, it's going to look like this. This is the wrong side of the zipper and this is the right side of the pocket. So now let's repeat the same steps but with the other pocket piece. So right side of the zipper with the right side of the pocket, like so. Along the edge. And we're going to top stitch the same way. So this is what it looks like right now. I'm going to go from the wrong side of the zipper but the right side of the pocket, and I'm going to top stitch. in mind, if you use the zipper by the yard like I am, you have no zipper end. So be wary of that when you open and close your zipper, so you don't get your zipper pull off the coil. So this is what it looks like from this side, and this is what it looks like from this side. So right now we're going to take the lining that we created and wrong side of the facing will go here and the right side of the lining will go here. Obviously you want to have your zipper pull in the center. So you want to put your facing, your zipper centered to the facing. And first we're going to stitch at the top. Oh, I don't need to take off my pins. If you want to use some double-sided tape, you can. It will help you hold everything in place. I highly recommend the Wizardry double-sided tape. It's super sticky and holds everything where you need it to. Okay, and we're going to sew all around, making sure that the zipper coils are centered on the opening there. And when we sew all around, it's going to also create that zipper ending that we so desperately need. It's raining again. Oh my goodness, and if Florida keeps watching, it's been raining non-stop for 3 weeks. I can't take it anymore. So I apologize if you hear rain in the background. Like, I don't even know when it's gonna end. I feel like I need to build Noah's Ark now to save our family from the rain. It's so much. Okay, so this is what it looks like from the inside of the pocket. This is what it looks like from the outside. So now you want to stitch around the only the side seams. We're going to be turning the bag through the opening here. So I like to fold a little bit here. It is okay if you have different length here. It's because one should have been a little longer, but we can trim it off. So you'll bring your pockets to the same level, and we're going to sew just the sides. I'll put some clips here just to hold my lining, but I'm not going to stitch it. Okay. So you want it to be folded like this on the bottom, and we're going to stitch here and away from, so pull your bag lining away, and we're going to stitch it down. After you've stitched it down, you can remove the excess zipper tape. Again, we're pulling away the lining and stitching down. I'm just trimming away the excess zipper so it doesn't go in the seam allowances. Okay. I think probably the most difficult part of the bag is done. So this is on the inside. Make sure you leave your pocket open because you'll need it open to turn the bag. Okay, let's finish the lining while we're working on it. Take your other lining piece and find the center of the curve. And I'll do the same thing here. Fold and mark the bottom center. And then you'll take your gusset, also from the lining, and you'll mark the center. So I'm folding it like so, and I'm marking the two sides. I love this pattern because one, it's very easy, two, it barely uses any hardware, and it looks so adorable. Okay, so now I'm pinning the center. All around the curve. If you need to make a few snips on the curve, on the straight edge, just to fit better on the curve, you can. And we're going to stitch this down with a 3/8 of an inch seam allowance. I started with the pocket part, so make sure that the pocket is out of the way. You don't want to stitch in the pocket. Okay. I could feel a little bit of tension there, so a few snips in the straight edge will help. Because you're sewing a straight edge on a curve, so it's normal that there's a little bit of tension there. Just make sure when you do your snips, they're smaller than 3/4 of an inch, 3/8 of an inch, which is the seam allowance. So you want to do them at maximum 1/4 of an inch. Preferably a little less. I do think, yeah, I caught on the pocket a little bit, but that's not a big deal because I had a huge seam allowance on this side of the pocket, so I can just trim that off. Not a big deal. You don't want the pocket in these seams, otherwise it's going to be very difficult to turn the bag. I've done that the first time around, that's how I know. Okay, so we're going to repeat the same thing but on the other side. Match the bottom center like so. I like to match the edges here and then pin all around. So center, ends, and then pin around. See, now you can kind of have a feel for the size of the bag. Again, this is the tall one. I have not made the smaller one, but I think the smaller one is just shorter, is not narrower. So if you like the width, you just want it shorter, there's another option available. So again, let's stitch this with a 3/8 of an inch seam. Make sure there's no puckers. We are ready. We can just set the lining aside for now. We'll only need it when we finish the bag. You can trim around the seam allowance to make it smaller. So let's set that aside and start working on the main part of the zipper. If you're making your own strap, you'll be making it right now. I'm using this gorgeous webbing for my strap, so I don't really need to do anything right now. And if you are adding the press lock, you'll follow the steps in the tutorial. I'm going to be modifying it a little bit to add magnetic snaps if I find them. I know I had them. So first, let me grab the flap piece and set this aside so I don't mix them up. And find my magnetic snaps. Okay, so let's start by adding the accent piece on the front, that strap in the center. So I'm going to mark as best as I can the center. Easier to fold on the wrong side. Okay, so I kind of see the center. I'm going to add a strip of this amazing double-sided tape from Wizardry along the center. And it's going to be from top to bottom. Because like I said before, I'm going to use the webbing as accent pieces. I've done this bag before and I used cork for the accent. So let's see. Sealing in the edge. Do I want this or do I want this? I think I want this side. It is so cute. Or should I do some blue? Oh, let's do some blue. Yes, on the other end I saw some blue. Perfect. This is just perfect. I love it. Okay, so that's my accent. Let me trim it off so I can seal in the edge. And now we're going to sew it with 1/8 of an inch seam allowance along the two edges. Again, I'm not following the pattern right now because I'm using webbing for the accents and not press lock. So I'm gonna switch to my 1/8 of an inch compensation foot, maybe guiding foot. So what I had on is 1/4 of an inch. So I have my 1/8 of an inch right here. This basically helps me sew a straighter line when top stitching. I got these on Amazon if anybody needs them, but they are for the Juki 1181, so they're for walking feet industrial machines. There are some for non-walking foot machine or semi-industrial. I know Nikki from Nikki Makes, she uses them. She's the one that actually let me know about this type of helping foot. Okay, so now let's top stitch. That's so pretty. It's probably my favorite webbing. I used to say the watercolor one was my favorite, but I think this just became my favorite webbing of all. And I want to add a little something extra. So this is what it looks like from the back. From the front it's so pretty. So I want to add a little something more. Where is it? You know those here bows that Wizardry sold? Oh, it's so cute. I feel like this print needs a bow, doesn't it? Am I the only one who thinks this print needs a bow? Like right here or right here? Somewhere it needs a bow. So I want to add that. Obviously you don't need that. I was thinking of adding it here close to where my snap will be. So I am totally randomly placing it, so because why not? Who doesn't need an extra rainbow bow? You tell me. Oops, that's a lot of layers in there. Between the vinyls and the Decovil and the interfacing and the webbing, there's a lot of layers to push through here. But you can do it. Okay, there you go. Awesome. And I did have washers on. Oh, this bow is just adorable. You tell me if this is not the most adorable thing you've ever seen. Come on. So pretty. So pretty. There. Okay, enough awing about the bows. Okay, so let's put the magnetic snap, and I'm going to use the bow as a guiding place for where I want my magnetic snap to go. because I kind of want it right there where the bow is. So I'm gonna mark this down here. Okay, and there you go. Take a piece of Decovil heavy or some foam or something to add a little extra stiffness on the back of your snap. Or of course, if you're putting the press lock, you'll follow the manufacturer instructions. And then my two markings here and here. Okay. Let's do the male. Where is it? Typical Alex fashion. I didn't hear it falling, so I'm sure it's here somewhere. Here, found it. And now it fell. Okay, and on the back I'll put the Decovil heavy. Did I put the slits? No. And the washer. Okay, so this is the lining of the flap with the beautiful Wizardry rainbow snap. So now you want to take your mane and lining, place them right sides together, and you're going to sew around the curved edge, leaving the top open. Right now, again, I should be changing my foot to use a regular walking foot, but I'm too lazy. To go back and forth, but I should. Okay, we're going to trim the excess seam allowance, because the smaller the seam allowance, the nicer it will be when you turn it. If you're using cotton woven, after you turn it, you can obviously give it a good press. I'm going to add the female part of the magnetic snap a little later in the process, because I'm not sure about the placement. I didn't take any measurements, so I will need to add it once I add the flap. A little bit backwards, since it's a hack and I don't have the exact measurements to where to add it. Look how wonderfully this vinyl performs. How I'm flipping it and turning it, and there's zero creasing in it. I'm pushing the seams, and then we're going to top stitch. It is so pretty. I will top stitch with an 1/8 of an inch seam allowance. I'm in love with the quality of this vinyl. The flap is done. It's looking mighty cute. Adorable. And look at that top stitching. Can you see? It did help. That presser foot does help with top stitching. It's so cute. So this is what it looks like from the front, and this is from the back. And I'll set that aside for now, and I'm going to grab my gusset. So now we're going to add, we're going to add the accents to the gusset. So let's see, we're going to draw 2 lines on both sides. So one is going to be 4 inches from the top, the first line. Maybe I should get a different pen. I can barely see it. So 4 inches down. So we need to make a straight line 4 inches down, and then 2.5 inches down on both sides of the gusset. Okay, so 4, and then 2.5. Okay, now you want to take your strap anchor. So it's a 6-inch strap anchor. I'm going to cut 6 inches. Mm, 10, 6. I haven't cut my webbing because I'm not sure if I have enough for a crossbody or it will be just a regular strap, because I have a 3-yard cut, and since I'm using all kinds of accents from it, I wasn't sure if I had enough. Okay, so these are my 2. I'm going to thread this beautiful connector. I couldn't help myself. I needed to add my last gorgeous rainbow connector. How beautiful. Okay, I'll thread it through here, And I want this side up. They're both just as gorgeous. Fill in the ends, and we're going to center this on one side. It would be easier if I add some double-sided tape, right? So let me prep them and add some double-sided tape and do it correctly. Okay, so that's one. Where is my second beauty? So stunning. These are so stunning. Okay, so that's my second connector. And now, using some double-sided tape, I'll use the 1/2 inch one because it's the thickest one I have. And let's find the center. Just want to remove this excess interfacing because it's not helping me find the center. Okay, so center found, and double-sided tape, and then same thing on the other side. Find the center. And then I'll add my sticky tape, and I'm matching it to the bottom line, so the 4-inch line. And now I'm going to place my beautiful accent centered right here, and I will stitch it down just temporarily, right here, about 1/2 inch up from the first line. This is going to be stitched down when we put the other accents. Okay, and I'll do the same thing on the other side. Remove the double-sided tape. Well, the paper part, I mean, of the double-sided tape. Place your accents. Make sure it's still centered. And the bottom matches the 4-inch marking. I'll just stitch it down about 1/2 inch away from the bottom. Okay, so now we're ready to add the other accents. Buy more blue? No. Okay, so I'll cut them as I go, this way I have 0 waste. Since I'm using my precious webbing that's limited right now. So I'm taking the webbing and placing it aligned to the bottom, to that 4-inch line, and I'm stitching it down. And this will also hold that in place. we are going to repeat this step 4 more times for all the accents. These are optional, but I feel like this is what makes this pattern outstanding. So now I can trim the webbing and seal it. So gorgeous. Okay, so now you're taking another webbing piece and you're going to add it. Let's see if I have a different print. Now I'm being picky with my prints. And you're going to add it along the second bottom line, see, that we've made. Make sure it's straight and your connector is out of the way. Or your D-ring, whatever you've used. Obviously, it would have been easier if I cut all these little accents prior, but I told you I don't want to use any bit of webbing since I don't have that much. I will definitely be ordering a ton on Friday, but for now, okay, so this is one side. You're going to go ahead and repeat the same steps on the other side. If you want, you can add a rivet here and a rivet here. I'm thinking I should, but then again, I don't want to ruin the beautiful print, you know? So we'll see after I finish. Let's do the same thing on this side. Maybe we should tell Melissa to make us some fancy rivets or Chicago screws in this theme. And let's add the last one right here. Or should we do blue? Maybe we should do blue. Let's do blue. I don't think I will stop marveling at this beautiful webbing anytime soon. And this is going to be my strap. Whatever is left is going to be my strap. And I do think I have enough for a adjustable one. So for reference, I had a 3-yard cut of webbing, if anybody needs to make sure they have enough for various projects. Moment of truth, do I put or do I not put rivets? Well, decision has been made. I am adding the rivets. I remembered I had those cute mouse head rivets. I figured they would work great with the connector that I'm using. So that's what I'm going to add. Keep in mind, if you do add rivets here, that you are working with a very thick layer. So make sure that your rivets have at least a 9mm post. 8 I don't think would be enough, honestly, between all the layers that you have here. Come on. It's back here. I believe what I have is a 9mm post. And it's a single cap, but it doesn't matter because the inside, you won't see the inside anyways. Yeah, I couldn't resist the rivets as much as I tried. Look how cute. Isn't that adorable? And I am like eyeballing the center. I'm sure I could be better at this, but again, it's my bag. I don't care. I'd rather have fun than stress about measuring millimeters. And I'm encouraging you to do the exact same thing. Meaning have fun. Not necessarily eyeballing it. Unless you're like me and you don't care that much. Beautiful. Okay, we're done. I've already done the other side off camera. So this is what they look like. So adorable. Okay, so we're going to create the front just like the main part, just like we did with the lining. So we're going to find the center of the front and the back, and then mark the center of the gusset that we just created. Add the flap. I did not forget that I need to add the other part of the snap, but I don't know yet where it will go. So let me just create this first. Just like we did for the lining. Okay. And the center of your gusset. Okay. If you have a preferred front, since I don't have anything added to it, for me it doesn't really matter. And I think I got, yeah, pretty much the same image. So pick whatever you want for the front. Match the centers, just like we did before. Match the sides. Be careful when you sew next to your connectors to avoid busting a needle, and also when you sew over all your accent pieces, because it will be pretty thick there. And again, you can put a couple of snips in the straight edge of the gusset just to help with the curve. Since I'm doing exactly the same thing I did for the lining, I'll do this off camera because the video is already becoming a little too long, and I'll meet you right back here after I sew the front and the back to the center gusset, and then we'll add the flap together. Okay, now that both main pieces are sewn to the gusset, I'm going to turn this right side out. I find it also it's easier when I turn the bag if my fabric, my main is right side out to start with. I don't know if it's just me. But I find it's easier to just turn the fabric right side out and then add the lining. Man, I'm messing with this vinyl and it's not budging. I'm also using this chance to make sure that all my stitches are done correctly, that there's nothing right now that's skipped or creased or not sewn properly. You can also decide which one is the front and which one is the back right now, since you can see both prints. Okay, so this will be my front. Okay, that means I'm going to add the flap to the back, and it's going to be right sides together, the main and the back, right sides together, and I'm going to stitch it down along the edge. It should go from one edge to the other. You can just baste it in place. Right now I like to stitch it because I will stitch over it anyways when I add the lining. Okay, so now we can mark where we want the other snap to be. Since it's not in the pattern, since it's a hack, I'm going to bring the flap over and fold it here, and now I can see where I want the magnetic snap to go, because I want this to have a little give at the top, you know, to cover it here a little bit. So I don't want it like so. I don't want it. this. Not too tight. Or do I? Maybe I do. Okay, I think I want the magnetic snap. See, I don't want it pulling in the back. So I think I want it here, which means one way to do this is to take your pen and just paint over where the male part is. Like I'm painting over the male part. So now, based on where I want to make sure that it closes, let's see, I want it to close like here. I press a little bit and luck, with a little bit of luck, yep, it made the marking. It made the marking with the, like right here. I could see the marking. So now I know where I want my snap to go. So I can go ahead and place it. Again, it's a hack to the pattern. The pattern has better instruction, but therefore that the instructions are for the class. There it is. I was looking for my Decoville. Okay, and we're using the same technique as we did before. Okay. Small slits, you can always make a small slit bigger, you cannot make a big one smaller. Decoville. There you go. So on the inside I'm putting the extra Decoville and then the washer. And then folding it down. Okay. Remove the plastic and there you go. Now it's done. Done. See how cute? Okay, let's add the lining to make it even cuter. Grab the lining that we worked on earlier. Make sure that your zipper is open on the inside. And I like to add my zipper to the back part. So mine will go this side towards there. Slide your bag inside the lining so that the lining and the bag are right sides together. The bottom of the bag is wider than the top, so you're gonna have to squish it a little bit to fit. since we're working with great quality vinyl, that's not gonna be a problem. Okay, move your connectors out of the way. So you don't want your connectors like this. You want your connectors, even if it's just the D-ring, inside. And you're going to match the edges, like so. And we're going to sew all around the opening. Turn, close the pocket, and that's it. If you've created your straps at the beginning, you should have your straps ready. I know in the pattern creating the straps is part of the first steps. I'm going to create mine now because I wanted to make sure I had enough webbing. Okay, so this is what it looks like. You're lining on the outside, on the wrong side. This way the right sides together, and we're going to sew all around. A few days ago I made a bag and I forgot a whole clip inside. A whole clip. I had to make a slit in the lining to recuperate the clip. That was the first time. And I forgot a whole clip in the lining. I was seeing now the clips jump inside the bag, and that made me remember the incident. If you want, you can go one more time if you're not sure that everything is caught properly, or you can fix any waviness you may see, like right here. Where was it? See, this is the correct seam allowance, and then I went a little high there, so there I want to go fix it now. Everything looks good. So now you're going to take, let's remove any pins. You're going to put your hand through the pocket like so, and you're going to pull the bag through the pocket so we can turn it right side out. And I start with the flap. That's why working with quality materials is important. You couldn't do this with just any vinyl. pull a whole bag through a pocket and not worry about creases and wrinkles. Bigger pocket might have helped a little bit. This is how we fit a whole bag in a pocket. Come on. Trying to be gentle, but I guess I'm gonna have to be a little more rough and show her who's the boss. I'm also gentle because I'm trying to protect my nails. So. Done. So let's top stitch. First, let's make it look presentable. Double check all your stitchings. Make sure everything is done right before you close the pocket. Look at this vinyl. Look at this vinyl. Did you see everything we put it through? And look how beautifully it stayed. Unbelievable. It is so cute. So you're gonna go ahead and top stitch all around the top edge. And of course close the pocket. Let's close the pocket now so I don't forget. And you know, you can close it by hand or you can close it with your sewing machine. You'll never see me closing the inside pocket by hand. Ever. I'm no hero. Inside. Look how pretty. Let's top stitch this. to try to top stitch from the outside. And this is the moment where I once again wish for a free arm machine. I will take donations. Anyone who wants to is giving away a free arm machine. I'm joking. As best as I can get it. It's not gonna be perfect, but it would be worth it to turn the fabric with the inside towards well, with the lining towards the outside, but I don't want to do that, so I'll just do the best that I can and correct any mistakes that I might make afterwards. Good thing this vinyl is very pliable. Lord knows I put it through the ringer. Okay, top stitching is done. The pocket is closed. You can give it a good press if you've made it out of cotton woven. Since it's vinyl, I'll just let the vinyl settle a little bit. Maybe put some clips. But the main bag is done. It's so pretty. There you go. And with the connectors right here. Let's finish the strap since I'm here. Okay, take one end and your two swivel clips as well as your slider. These are swivel clips made specifically for the Minnie Mouse inspired connector. So they're larger than normal. You can't really use the regular swivel clips that Wizardry sells with those. They wouldn't fit. So you need these. But they come with the connectors. Okay, so one end, slide it in. This is a 1-inch swivel clip. I'm gonna fold it and top stitch it. Obviously you can also use rivets if you want. Goodness, this webbing is stunning. This webbing is outstanding. Okay, one end is done. Now let's take the other end. And I'm going to grab my slider. There, so right in front of me. slider, and we're going to put the slider up and down on one end. Oh, I think this might be more than 56 inches. I usually use a 56-inch strap for the adjustable one for my size, but if it's longer, we'll see. Then the swivel, and then we go back. Up, and then down, and then stitch it down. Make sure you only stitch the part that you folded here. And you are done. You have completed, if you followed along. If not, I have completed my mountain saddle bag by Emily Patterns. With my backstitch vinyl and webbing. I've also used Wizard, yeah, this is probably longer than 56. Wizardry Stitchery and Crafts hardware and connectors and zippers and interfacing and beautiful bow, all from Wizardry, including rivets. Look how gorgeous. Isn't this the most beautiful bag ever? I adore it. Thank you so much for sewing with me. As always, I'll link everything that I use in the description of the video, including some useful videos with rivets and zippers that I've made a few months ago. And if you have not subscribed yet, please do subscribe and turn on the notification bell so YouTube can tell you every time I upload a new video. I will try, Scout Hunter, to do better, but it also depends on my kids' behavior in this summer break. But as always, keep creating and remember to always have fun. Talk to you guys soon. Bye.